Hello, this is Lucifera again.
And this is Entropy. Today we're going to continue to talk about the Superman as an archetype. We discussed in our last video the idea of Nietzsche and his Übermensch, his Superman. And of course all of us sort of aspiring to be this way, a symbol of the evolved man, if you will. Continuing with Superman 3, there are other things that we would like to point out in this video.
I want you to notice Superman's suit. When he turned bad, you could see his suit was darker. For us, this is a representation of the darkness, corrupt Abrahamism. When Clark separated from the bad and turned into Superman, spiritual Israel, his suit was brighter, representing change, transformation, and transmutation into a new creation. When I say Israel, I mean a spiritual race separating from corrupt Abrahamism of old. You could say this is the time of separation, or, quote, rapture. I come to separate the wheat from the chaff.
And remember that all of these things are done through a lot of pain and sometimes even violence. We have been so conditioned to be afraid of pain and violence by our very soft Western culture. A real transformation is going to be, those who transform, they are going to be required simply due to the nature of transformation. They are going to go through a lot of pain and suffering. This is unfortunately the way of this world and this universe. In order to transform, in order to evolve, in order to become a more enlightened being, you must have to go through hardship, through pain, and sometimes even physical violence in order to transform from this lower being to a higher sentient. This will be required of us, those of us who are striving towards this goal of the Übermensch, the Superman. And of course you can see that depicted in this movie where Clark and Superman are fighting against each other.
The transformation is coming from the old to the new, from our shattered self to being whole, the transmutation of base metals into gold, from seeing the shadow on the wall, the demiurge, to seeing the real, the divine.
There's an old Buddhist expression that goes, the moon in the water, the reflection of the moon in the water is not the moon. What we're seeing with the Abrahamism of today is only a reflection of the real thing, the real divine. What people are afraid to do is look within themselves to find this divine nature, because we are all part of this oneness. And you can deny it, but it doesn't mean it's not true. The reflection is not the moon. The demiurge reflection that we see that is worshipped by the Abrahamic religions is not the real thing. It's not the real moon. It's only the reflection in the water.
As Clark separated from the bad, Superman, so does the Elohim separate from the corrupt. Abrahamism in its current form shall burn up in flames. The seed of truth from it shall spring, a new way, a new understanding, a new God rises, which is us.
The point of our message is this: the ever-expanding mission of our people to strive towards the better understanding of their true nature, to nurture and to help bring about that nature is what good parents do, as opposed to the demiurge who keeps his, quote, children ever ignorant and dependent upon him. This is illustrated in the speech given by Jor-El to his son Kal-El, Superman, in the movie The Man of Steel.
You will travel far, my little Kal-El, but we will never leave you, even in the face of our death. You will make my strength your own. You will see my life through your eyes, as your life will be seen through mine. The Son becomes the Father, and the Father the Son.
People are always looking for God outside of themselves, when in fact the divine is within. This is about oneness. We are the Father and the Son, or the Mother and the Daughter. A new understanding is emerging. The old is falling away, for the former things have passed away. We see another story that further defines our analogy.
Here we have a story of a creature that is let free from the depths of the earth. They call the Doomsday Monster. It's not made clear in the movie, but I have read the comic, and this Doomsday Monster is also from Krypton. And this Doomsday Monster is sort of a good representation of chaos, because at least in the movie, this creature has been created and only knows to kill. That is all it knows to do. So in this creature represents chaos, as opposed to the Superman who is later revealed in the movie.
This creature, Doomsday, kills Kal-El. Like Christ in the story in the Bible, Kal-El resurrects.
But then later in the movie, you come to realize that this new Superman is not actually the real Kal-El. However, he is a clone of Superman that had been created by Lex Luthor. Now, this is absolutely a great metaphor for the Christ, the so-called Christ, that the Christians worship. This Superman, initially under the control of Lex Luthor, becomes a tyrant. He becomes too much order. Now that chaos you might look at it this way, of course I do. Now that chaos has been disposed of in the form of the monster that only knew to kill, 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 you have a new order coming.
This would be evil order.
An evil order that is tyrannical, that polices everyone, that is not at all like the Superman. And here, another good metaphor, the real Superman is actually not dead. He was never even killed, so he was never resurrected to begin with. Just like the Christ nature that is within us, that was in the historical Christ, if you will, and was in the nature of people before the historical Christ, also called the Buddha nature, that nature, that spirit cannot be killed and is never killed and destroyed.
So basically, it's the real Christ versus the false Christ, or the real Superman versus the false Superman, or the clone.
And another way of looking at it is the true church versus the false church that we see today, the Christian church. The true church, the Gnostic church, has been underground, has been less powerful, just as this new, less powerful Superman is as he comes and fights here in these scenes. But this is the true Superman. The other is just a clone. It's just a fake. It's just a shadow of the true Superman. And just as the Christian church is just a shadow of what was in, what the intentions were in the beginning, in the very beginning, in the beginning of the universe, for what this was meant to be, knowing and drawing upon our Christ nature within us.
Jehovah, Enlil are just names given to the demiurge, or shadow self. The simple answer to who we are is, I am that I am. There is no other. There is no need to worship idols. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
You are worshiping false gods instead of looking within, where the true God resides, you.
Look, why prolong this? I could keep this up all day, but you, why not fly on out of here while you still can? Leave the city in your hands? Not likely. But don't you get it? I am you, Superman. A reflection of you as you might have been. If I were raised by Luthor, if you were strong. You're self-righteous, misguided, my reflection in a cracked mirror. Suit yourself.
The old shall pass away. The bad Elohim and El, Yahweh, are our shattered mirror. When made whole, we see our true self and know who we truly are. The great revealing. I am that I am. Aye, Ashir, Aye.
We will give the people an ideal to strive towards. They will race behind you. They will stumble. They will fall. But in time, they will join you in the sun. In time, you will help them accomplish wonders.
The biggest enemy is inside of you. Confront and transform it.
Ascend to the stars.